a cup of that every single day. Okay, awesome, Warren. Thank you so much for sharing. And if you guys have any questions or anything, so the business meeting is really so we can connect at a deeper level. So they will share, but please stay after so you can talk to the speakers and kind of mix and mingle. Okay, so Frank Sinclair, everybody knows him, but I'm going to do the bio anyway. He's so fantastic. I love his family. Okay, so Frank is a 35-year-old Colorado Springs resident.
35-year-old. I wish I was 35 years old. Yeah! I know, back me up, baby.
You look good for your age, Frank, 35.
That's why they let me host. Oh my God, he looks amazing. Frank is a 35-year Colorado Springs resident, Air Force veteran, father of 4, and grandfather to 11. Frank spent many years in corporate American leadership development and diversity work. He has also been a pastor. He served on several boards, including the Colorado Springs Black Business Network. He has also been a pastor and is leading networking throughout the city. Frank is passionate about promoting business in the Front Range community and excited and honored to serve here with the Black Business Network. He is the owner, and I'll mess with that when you get up.
You okay?
He is the owner, founder of Dream. Thank you.
LLC.
I know. I have a 4-year-old, so I'm going to call it Mama Brain. Dream Again LLC. He is just a phenomenal friend and mentor in my life, and I just love you dearly. Thanks for sharing with us tonight. So welcome, Frank.
Oh, I hate electronics. That in itself should tell you that I'm not 35 years old, right? I do. And listen, I bet you guys had no clue that you were going to spend a Monday night listening to a homeless dude. Really?
My boo-boo 29.
My youngest daughter. I changed that because I was just live stream, so
I was like, I brought you just cringe.
I need to change that.
I will 35 tomorrow.
I know. She's 29 and I'm 35. So we're rocking. That is funny. You know, I want to ask you guys, because it is so awesome always standing in a room full of leaders. It's an amazing thing. Not a lot of people get to do that. I am honored that I would be able, that anyone would listen to me, first of all. But secondly, to stand in a group of leaders and to be able to talk to them. Let me ask you guys, as leaders in Colorado Springs, because you know that our economy is the number one in the USA for women-owned business. Right? What an amazing thing that is. If you look at the list, we're listed 18 times in the top 10 for placement for great environments for business.
Yes.
18 times. And someone says, you know what, Colorado Springs is a tier 2 city. I don't know what that means. How many times do you have to get listed to be tier 1? Right? This is a tier 1 business, city.
Yeah.
Make no mistake about it. There's never been an environment in the history of Colorado Springs that is more right for business. Never in the history of this city than it is right now. So you're saying, I think I'll wait. Waiting for what? This is our time. If you're in business and if you're thinking about forward movement and propelling your business forward, you'll never have a better environment than you have right now. And you know it's cyclical. You're not going to keep it forever. That's why this collaboration and this opportunity and the time that we get together and propel one another forward is so important right now. Right now. So as leaders in this city, in Colorado Springs, what's the most important thing that you can do every day before you go out to interact and make a mark in this city? And this is where you are included. Tell me, what do you do? What's the number one thing that you can do as a leader?
Have breakfast.
Have breakfast. That's all we have. What'd you say, my friend?
I didn't say anything. Build people.
Build people. What'd you say? Network. Anyone else?
Be grateful.
Visualize, meditate.
Visualize, meditate. There are no wrong answers. What'd you say?
Be grateful.
Be grateful.
Give first.
Give first. Here's really what I found. Now you tell me, this may not be true for you, but it's true for me. What I found as a leader in this community, that I have to encourage myself before I step out of the door.
That's good.
You're going to have to be an encouraged person. You know what? There's never been, and I was a pastor once as well, there's never been a couple that walked up to me and said, you know what, our marriage is so encouraging, we're divorcing. There's never a kid that was in school that's walked up to me and said, you know what, I am so encouraged by my class and my professors that I'm dropping out. Right? There's never been a business owner that I've worked with that I've ever walked up to and that has ever come up to me and said, you know what, I had such an encouraging month, I quit. Doesn't make sense, does it? Because you and I have to be encouraged ourselves. Because if you're not encouraged, you have nothing to add to this business community as you go out.
That's good.
You really don't. You're walking out empty. And you're going to probably walk back empty. So we're going to talk, go to the next slide, young lady, if you would.
That's still hard to say.
Oh, business life coaching, keynote speaking, interpersonal communication, talking to groups about how we communicate better. I believe the number one diversity issue in Colorado Springs and the nation is generational diversity.
Come on.
I really do. Now, that's not to demean or put down the other aspects of diversity because they're very important, right? Right, because I had the opportunity to be on the ground floor when diversity work became the buzzword in corporate life.
Right.
And we had the #2 diversity program in the nation. I served as a chairman of the board of a diversity group, nationwide diversity group. So I'm all in. I get it. There's never going to be a time that we're not going to talk about issues of race. There's never going to be a time that we don't talk about issues of gender. But the #1 issue that we face in diversity today is generational. You have 5 generations working in one workplace. That's a trip. It really is. Talking about communication issues. Talking about getting over humps. Because quite frankly, most millennials don't care what color you are. Or something, you know, they've grown up and they really got some opportunity. Even though there's some, I don't want to have to say this all night. It's not that we're not addressing other issues, but we really don't talk sometimes about the real issues. And if you're sitting in a workplace and you're leading people, or you're leading people from a business platform, you got to know how to deal with generations. So those, I do business development. Next slide, please. Corporate and individual business partner in Colorado Springs. I am savvy about Colorado Springs. Everywhere I go, I have a Colorado Springs button on. Probably if you see me, you see it. Because I am all in. I have no aspirations of going anywhere else. I have no aspirations of scaling. I want to be a front range, I want to be an aspect, a disruptor of the front range in the business community here. That's the only aspiration I have. So also, I was in the Air Force Elite Roofing, our family company, which was Inc. 5000 list of fastest growing privately owned businesses in America this year. Yeah. So we're very proud of that. And our company has grown 30% year over year for 9 consecutive years. And some years there was no hell. Why? Because we've set up a platform and an opportunity for growth. And we know how to grow. So that's who I am. I have degrees in business and theology. That blend, to me, created a perfect blending of who I am. Because I love business and I love people. What else do we have, really, at the end of the day, right? People. That's all we have. Next slide, please. So, There's a lot of smart people here. And you, like all of the U.S., probably brags about our IQs. I got news for you. You got nothing to brag about. Because typically your IQ comes from someone that had an IQ before. Really? It's mostly genetic. So you can stop bragging on that one. Okay, we want your IQ, we want your brain, we want all of that. EQ. Goldman came out in 1895 with the emotional quotient, and it's been helpful. But if you are a person that's really not outgoing, that needle doesn't move very much. As a matter of fact, sometimes it takes more energy to move that needle than it is to stay who you are and to be able to lift you up where you are. Right? So if EQ, both of those are good, but hope quotient, anyone can increase. Because if you don't have any hope, you're not going to be encouraged. You don't have any encouragement. You're going to go out and you're going to make a mess of things, and then we'll move on to the next slide. I'm going to tell you what happens without hope. What hope does, it helps you have more satisfying relationships. Be more productive. Be less affected by stress. Be more successful. This is proven. Feel more satisfied. Be more compassionate. Be more willing to help people in need. Be physically healthier. Hold to a higher moral and ethical standard. Be more likely to assume leadership. Also, be more likely to see God as loving, caring, and forgiving. You say, well, I don't believe in God. That's okay, because he believes in you.
Yes. Yes.
So he does. So next slide. I almost have to say that one too quick before someone runs out the room.
All your facets in that.
I almost like denying who I am. I'm sorry. That's it. I believe in him. I'm sorry. Fourth thing that hope does that nothing else on earth can do. Hope liberates. It releases you from your past. If you are stuck in your past, it is a bad thing. It's hard to look forward when the rearview mirror continues to be your focus. Hope also motivates. Hope helps you to bounce back. How many of you know it's discouraging trying to do business? Oh, just me, Rodney, and me, and you. Okay, 3 of us. All right. You should be up here. Business is discouraging and it's hard to do. If it wasn't hard, everyone would be doing it. And we have a drop. I'm going to tell you what really motivates me, though. I am so tired of seeing talented people drop out of the game. It motivates me. I am tired of seeing people who are right in their sweet spot, right in the space where they belong, drop out. I am, and that's what Dream Again is all about. Hope will also initiate. Hope sets you free to dream. And it activates. Hope is the fuel that makes the world a better place. Imagine with me for a moment. A region. A place in America where hope reigns. Think about it. One place where there's hopeful people everywhere. Can you imagine that with me for a moment? Where no one's in despair. Where nobody's left out. Where the possibilities are there for each and every one. What would that be? What would that be? I know you cynics say ideal, Elvin. You cynics say idealistic. That's what it would be. But you know, it takes one. I'll never, ever, ever, ever let in one person off the hook again. Because if it wasn't for one person stopping by in Acacia Park in 1983 and grabbing me by my hand as I was sleeping underneath a bush, and I had been that was the beginning of my time in Colorado Springs, and bringing me in their home and believing, seeing beyond the obvious. We need some people that can see beyond the obvious. That's where leadership really takes hold, because obvious gets you nowhere. Only gets you to assumptions about people. You never get to the real core of a person by assuming. It takes real leadership skill to go beyond obvious, doesn't it? Anyone can look at the obvious. But he didn't look towards the obvious, and he saw something in me that changed my life. one person, nobody gets off the hook. We all have a part to play. And if we all play our parts rightly, we can see hope reign in this city. I believe that. Next slide, young lady. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Discouragement is a disease. Why? Because discouragement is a universal disease. We all get it. Discouragement is a repeating disease. You can catch it more than one time. Discouragement is a contagious disease. You catch it from being around discouraging people. Discouragement is a discouragement is a circumstantial disease that always has a cause, and discouragement is deadly. It will kill your dreams. It will kill your hopes and will kill your opportunities. Next slide. So what can we do to generate hope in our lives? I'm glad you asked. Because there are 7 things that I believe that will always help us to generate hope again. We can hope again. You ever saw the movie Hope Floats? Anyone ever see that movie? It was a good movie. Tearjerker for my wife, not me. I didn't cry. I'm serious. Hope floats, discouragement sinks. It does. Hope will keep you afloat. So that's why that word was so encouraging. Number one, you need to recharge your batteries. Nobody does well running on empty. What is it that you can do to help recharge you? When I'm in a coaching session, the first thing I ever ask, but I always ask people is, what have you done to take care of you? What are you doing for you? And it's amazing how people stumble over that question. Nothing. I got a business to run, man. I can't think about me. Well, you're running a business. I hope you're thinking about you. Otherwise, your business is probably doomed. Somewhere along the line, raise your expectations. You don't get what you deserve. You get what you expect. You get what you expect. What are you expecting from your business? At one time, you might say, I expected big things, but I've been knocked down so many times, Frank, I don't feel like I can climb the ladder again. You can if you remain hopeful. If you find ways to recharge yourself with hope, you can come back again and again and again. Every successful business has been a failure. We went bankrupt at Elite Roofing our 3rd year. We could have quit. We could have quit. Now, 11 years later, we're one of the top roofing companies in Colorado, which is the 2nd highest incidence of roof activity in America. So, don't quit. Don't quit. Don't go it alone. Refocus on the future. It's time to throw away your rearview mirror. No one goes forward well when they are always looking back. Next one, please. Play to your strengths. And this one is so important. Be yourself. Everyone else is taken. Be yourself. You have to. It's great to help mentor. I can't be Rodney Goulet. I can't. I don't want to be, but I can't be Rodney. No, I'm just joking, brother. You're a good man. Yeah. We want to walk with people, we want to emulate good things, but at the end of the day, we're doing it in us, not as someone else. Right? And we do that, one person, man, I'm telling you, there is no 2 of us alike. I am astounded every day when I sit across the table from someone. I have upwards of 10 to 15, I know Suzanne sees me, 15 meetings a week. And I have a demand for a lot more. And I'm not doing that to pat myself on the back. I'm doing it because I want to instill hope in people. And they know it. And it's not about dream again, and it's not about me. It's about them.
Hello, that's it.
That's it.
It's always about them. And you know what? I get the overflow. And it ain't too darn bad.
Right.
It really isn't. It is really good. Focus on other people. You know why? Because every minute of your life, you've been there. And a lot of it has sucked. So if you're focusing on you, you're going to have a lot of negative to dredge. So focus on other people and propel them forward. And I promise you, you will be propelled forward as well. I promise you. Play to your strengths. Number 5, refuse to go it alone. Never underestimate the power of support. Even the Lone Ranger had Tonto.
Right.
And he was a Lone Ranger. But he had Tonto. Don't go it alone. And you know, every time people get into this place, their number one thing that they do is retreat. They do. When they're not successful, they're not moving forward, their expectations aren't being met, they go into isolation. I see it all the time. I'm just using you as an example, where's Lauren? Where's she been? I hadn't seen her in community lately. Where are they? I can always tell when people are backing up, because they back out. Always. I think a few people in here heard that. Replace burnout with balance. Burning the candle at both ends isn't as bright as you might think. Replace burnout with balance. You know the bad stuff that we do? Do the opposite. Really, that's balance, right? The stuff that we're doing that ain't working, do the opposite. It's time to turn, guys. This is our time. This is our time. This is our time in Colorado Springs. It's your time. There's no one else that's walked forward and done it well that has anything on you. It is your time. Whether you ever use the services of Dream Again, you know what? Some people come up and ask me sometimes, what do you do? They do. What do you do? I don't even know what you do because you don't focus on that. You're focusing on them. If no one ever uses that, listen, I want to do business. I want to make money. I do. And I do make money. So don't fret for me. I'm doing fine. Yeah. 220 pounds of an adulterated man. I eat well. My wife will tell you my kids do well. We're all fine. We are. I'm not giving away the farm. I know how to do business.
Come on. Yes.
I know how to love people in the midst of that journey. I know how to help people. We need your business to succeed. Every business that fails in this city becomes one business that's not adding to the economic vitality of our city. Every business that fails is one more person that becomes negative, that begins to drag people this way instead of this way. My name is Frank Sinclair. I'm with Dream Again Business Consultant and Elite Roofing. We love Colorado, we love business, and we want to see you move forward. So thank you for letting me speak.
Ooh, you got me all inspired.